if you're struggling with consistency, and if you find that your practice is a bit of a yo-yo, up and down, some days I do it, some days I don't, but you know deep inside that it's important for you to really dedicate some time to care for yourself, then use this little quadrant. Hey there, it's Benny Fergusson here, and today I thought it would be useful just to discuss the topic of developing consistency in your practice, in taking care of yourself, in a practice that's about taking care of your body and all of the other things that connect with it. So, because if you can't be consistent at anything, well then how do you actually progress? So at the moment I'm traveling, I'm in Austria, and I'm doing a workshop tour around Austria. So my regular routine rhythm is, I'm here, I'm there, I'm teaching for the whole day, and then after it I'm tired, and all of these sorts of things. There's a lot of energy going out. Yet I have continued to maintain consistency in my practice. It's because I have some tools to maintain this consistency, that even when things don't go to plan, when things aren't perfect, when I don't feel like practicing, I still continue to keep momentum in my practice. Once you get the consistency, it's very empowering. You don't feel like you're kind of having this yo-yo effect in your practice. So I'd say, first of all, really asking yourself some pertinent questions to determine like your highest need, and then allowing your highest need from within to inspire actions outside. This can be useful. What do I do if I don't even have consistency, if I don't have that inner inspiration to take care of myself, to take care of my body? Some people might be familiar with the SWOT analysis. So if you get a page and you divide it into 4 quadrants, and one quadrant you put your strengths, and then the next quadrant you put your weaknesses, and then in the next quadrant you put your opportunities, and then you put your threats. You can do it in business, and you can also do it for yourself. You can start to identify, okay, well, what are my strengths in life? Your strengths might be, I'm strong. I'm physically strong. For me, before my spinal injury, I was a strong guy. In a more traditional sense, I liked lifting weights. I liked doing strength training. But then I realized over time that strength was my weakness. It was actually masquerading as rigidity, over control, all of these sorts of things. So when I went to the gym, I liked that I could lift more weight each time, and that made me feel good. But then when I faced another challenge that I couldn't strength train my way out of, this strength became a weakness. So then in my opportunities, well, I have an opportunity to look at things differently, to open my perspective, to be able to let go of some of these weaknesses or embrace them. So I identified some opportunities. I kept refining my strengths and weaknesses. So then I could at least be aware of, even before I started to practice, some of the things that that would be tools or obstacles on the journey ahead. And then I looked at threats. So external factors that might compromise my ability to progress. So I needed to be aware of them, so then I could at least preempt or choose differently as I started to come toward these threats. And it meant I needed to make some hard choices sometimes of, there was a party, or there was maybe like something that I had to do for work, and all of these sorts of things, where I had to really choose, how can I do this while also taking care of myself? So the moral of the story so far is that self-awareness is one of the most important things with consistency. If you can become aware of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats first before beginning a practice, then you can start to see if there's any things that might interrupt your consistency and also support it. And then over time, maybe every few weeks, every month, you check in and you look at, okay, what are my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats now? And just seeing how they grow over time. So if you're struggling with consistency, and if you find that your practice is a bit of a yo-yo, up and down, some days I do it, some days I don't, but deep inside that it's important for you to really dedicate some time to care for yourself, then use this little quadrant, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats. Write it down on a bit of paper, and then focus on the things that you find challenging. Use them first, improve them, and get better at discerning, perceiving really what you need over time. Get to know yourself, and then what you might notice is the process of practicing becomes much more enjoyable, where you start to enjoy the process of growth. You start to become a lot more compassionate within yourself, and that's what it's all about, is just really being more fully you, and connecting more fully with your body and the wonder and the challenge that can be present there, to really master limitation, to master emotion, to master yourself, your body, and your mind. So I hope that's useful, and we'll see you again in another little video to support you on progressing in your meditative movement practice.